In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a little bit about navigating around order sets. So recall that when you open Provider Order Management or POM to do CPOE, you default into the Sets and Categories screen, and it arranges all our order sets based pretty much on specialty. If you click the plus sign next to any of the specialties listed, you get a list of all the order sets that are within the specialty. Click the minus sign next to the name of the specialty to collapse that if you want to open another one and keep your screen clear. There's also a type ahead search box here. If you start typing in here, instead of opening and closing all these different specialties, if you're looking for a particular order set, you can start typing out the name of the set you want, and it will filter out all the other sets for you. So let's say you start to look for sets by specialty. I'm going to start with general medical just for an example. To select the set that I want to start viewing and looking at the orders in, you place a check mark next to the name of the set in this little checkbox here. You only have to click once to place the check mark. Click on View, and here is the order set. At the top is the title of the order set. Underneath that, you'll often find a little bit of information about one of the orders you may be about to place. In this one, it's some background information you might want to have when you're considering how to admit the patient. Do you want to admit them inpatient, observation, or outpatient? And then you have a whole bunch of orders arranged by category: nursing orders, diet orders, activity, respiratory, laboratory, etc. You'll notice that some of the orders have check marks placed next to them. We built these sets defaulted so that some check marks default in as already placed. We think you'll really want to get those orders. Even if it's checked, you don't necessarily have to place it. You can click once to uncheck it, click again to check it back. Anything else that's unchecked, place a check mark if you want it. Click again to remove the check mark. On the right-hand side, there are some edit boxes. A red edit box like this means that in order to place the order, there is some detail you have to fill out. A blue edit box like this means that you can place the order just as it is, giving you the details here. The title of the order, order details. For example, title of the order is Vitals, Frequency, and Parameters. Order details, it's going to be started today, now, per unit protocol. Another example, INT. Order details are do it today now. If I wanted to do the INT tomorrow, I might click Edit and change the date and time from T for today and N for now to tomorrow at 900 hours. I'm going to click Cancel because I don't actually want to change it. You'll notice that some of these orders appear in red text. Red text indicates that there is a duplicate order somewhere. Either there is an identical order elsewhere in the set, or there is already a vitals order placed on the patient, for example. This doesn't mean necessarily don't order it or necessarily mean uncheck it. Just make sure, according to the details of the order, that it is something you want to get. When you're done scrolling through the set and checking and unchecking the orders that you want, if there's something you really want but you don't see, you can always click Add Procedure, which gets you to all the orders that aren't medications or IV fluids, and you can place any of those orders by placing a check mark next to them and editing the details later. Or if there's a medication or IV you really want, you can click Medication IV, and gets you to all the meds and IV fluids you can order. Click Cancel to escape from there, and click OK. And everything that was checked on your order set appears on your current orders with a status of new. If you go into a set that you know really well and you know there's one order and only one order on the set that you want to place, you can get rid of all the other check marks by double-clicking in this little box up here. The first click places a check mark next to every order on your list. You probably never want to do that. A second click gets rid of all the check marks. See 0 selected orders up here. Now you can hunt through the set and find only the order you want. I want to show you a little bit about the status and diagnosis order. You'll find this on every admission set, so whether it's this general admit to medicine or something like a post-operative admit, you'll find a little status and diagnosis order. This order defaults as pre-checked once you open an admission set because it is actually the only order that you have to fill out. You have no choice but to fill this out unless you want to get a call from Health Information Management later asking you why you haven't filled out this order. So you have to change the details by clicking on this red edit box. And remember that the red edit box indicates that in order to place the order, there are some things that are missing that you actually have to say. So all this stuff up here, you see this more for like procedures, labs, meds. Don't worry about this right here. The only stuff that you need to fill out is down here, and this is the stuff that's important for CMS and for billing. Patient requires an inpatient-only procedure is the first field that you have to fill out. This is Y or N for yes or no. I'm going to leave this N for no. Stay to exceed 2 or more midnights is the next field that you can edit if you place an N here. I'm going to hit yes because I want to designate this patient as inpatient. After I type Y, I'm going to hit tab, and you notice that status defaults to inpatient. Now what if I change this? Backspace that, backspace N, type a Y here, hit tab. The next field that it jumps to is operative procedure, and this is where I can type the operative procedure the patient needs to be admitted to inpatient for. If I type in these fields N for no, the patient does not require an inpatient-only procedure, and no, I do not expect the patient to stay more than 2 midnights, once I hit tab out of here, I'll get a little message saying, please code the patient as outpatient or observation, meaning that according to what I've said about what the patient needs, they don't qualify for an inpatient stay. So for outpatient or observation status in this little drop-down menu here, I'm going to select observation because I just want them to stay overnight. I'm going to change that back to N, Y. Admit to inpatient. Reason for inpatient hospitalization. This field, since it doesn't have a star beside it, you don't need to fill it out in order to place the order, but if the patient is designated as Medicare or self-pay, Meditech will fuss at you later to fill this information in, so I'm going to go ahead and fill it in now. This is free text, you can type whatever you want. I'm going to leave it as that for an example. Expected length of service, length of stay. Anticipated discharge planning needs. I'm going to select the drop-down menu, I'm going to say none. If you know the patient's PCP, you can fill it in here. Once you click in the field marked with a star, attending physician, it defaults to your name. You do have to fill in this field in order to place the order, but all you have to do is click within the field. You can change the patient's location if you happen to know where they're going to be admitted to. Code status, you don't have to fill that in either. Hit OK to save. And notice once you've filled out all the required information in status and diagnosis, your red edit box turns blue, meaning there's nothing else you have to do.